Hi everyone, this is your Captain Brian Bomer coming to you from North Fort Myers in Florida, where Linda and I spend the winters. It's been a long time since the last newsletter, the reason being that we just got so busy with the dates and everything else during the summer. We sold Planet Helix, so I was moving 28 years of memorabilia and everything else over to the new place, and there just wasn't time to get a new newsletter out. But here we are again, and we're probably putting out many more over the winter months when I got a little bit more time. Got a lot of things happening. We're going to talk about them in this newsletter, so stay tuned. So now that we're back in the groove and putting out more frequent newsletters, there's lots to talk about. First off, we're going to kind of rewind, and I'm going to be putting out videos from the shows of last year. Some of them have already been up on Facebook, so maybe you've seen them, but there's quite a few that I never had a chance to actually do the editing and put them together. So there's that. Geez, what else? Let me see here. There's the vinyl package that we currently have up on the website. It's a real deal. Also, we're going to talk about Old School and our newest release last spring, which, as most of you know, was tracks we wrote in the 80s, and we re-recorded some other ones we took straight from 2-inch tape, but we re-released that album through Paris Records out of Houston, Texas, and very successful for us this year. We got some great reviews, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Also going to be talking about the new album, the vinyl album we're putting on the spring limited version. Album called Eat, Sleep, Rock, and that's about it. That's what we're going to talk about. So stay tuned. Here we go. Now, first off, I'd like to talk about the vinyl package that we have coming out. We got actually quite a few albums now on vinyl. We have the Icon album, which was released through Universal. That's because Capitol was bought out by Universal, so they kind of put a best of the Capitol years. Then we have Old School. We have my solo album, Get Your Hands Dirty. I think there was some Bastard the Blues left, maybe the Christmas album. So we got a lot of vinyl happening now, and vinyl has actually surpassed CDs in sales. So in the future, we're probably going to release new material on vinyl, and maybe only vinyl only. Presently, we have a vinyl special up on the website. It's a real deal. It's All I Want for Christmas is a Leaf to Win the Cup, which is a 45 we put out a couple years ago. Now that song has become a real Christmas standard, and gets more popular every year. And as long as the Leafs keep losing, I guess it'll keep selling. Even if they win, it'll probably sell. Then we have the Get Your Hands Dirty album, which is my solo album that I did with Grammy-winning, Juno-winning Gavin Brown, who also played drums on the album. Sean Kelly played guitar. Daryl played bass. I had Matt Weedinger, who we fondly call Matt Weed Eater, and of course a favorite of mine, Cheryl Lescombe, who I think is one of the greatest blues singers Canada ever produced, singing on that album. And then we have The Devil Is Having a Party Tonight. That's actually a 45, but it's a album size, which means you play it at 45 speed, but you know, it's this big. It's got little devils in the vinyl. It's red vinyl. Special photo session we did for that. Everybody signed the inside, and that's the last of those, right? And I know I'm missing one. Oh, Bastard of the Blues. Bastard of the Blues, I got a limited amount of those albums too from No Life Till Metal Records down in California. So there's a few of those left, and so they're in that package. It's only $69. It's a regular $110 plus shipping, of course. So $69, and makes a great Christmas present for that Helix fan that might be on your list. Now, last spring we released an album called Old School, which was actually a collection of songs from the 80s that we wrote then that we didn't release for whatever reason. I was down in my basement when I was cleaning up to do the big move from Planet Helix, and I found all these 2-inch tapes and cassette tapes, and I started going through and I went, holy cow, there's a there's an album here. So some of the songs we took from the 2-inch tape, which I got thermally baked by Siegfried Meyer up at Godrich at Beach Studios. And then we took the rest on cassette, and Daryl took them to his place in St. Catharines, and we threw them up on 24 track, and then we basically traced the songs and redid all the vocals. And so then we had this album, right? And it's been doing great. We licensed the album to Paris Records out of Houston, Texas, which is run by Tom Mathers. Tom's a great guy because he was in a metal band back in the 80s called Cherry Street himself. So he knows the music, he knows how to market the music, he's been in this a long time. And one of the first things we did was we went to internet radio stations. We avoided traditional radio stations in favor of internet stations, and we did something like 70 IDs, and we got a lot of airplay as a result all over the world, great reviews. KNAC out of Los Angeles, I think, give us a 4.5 out of 5 stars, to give you an example. Tom distributes through Selecta Hits, which is Sam Phillips' old label with Sun Records, and I'm very happy with the way the album's doing. We're going to continue to push that album when I get back in the spring with the new dates. It isn't over yet. We'll probably maybe do a couple more songs from the album live. Right now we're doing Coming Back with Bigger Guns. So if you haven't picked it up, pick it up. We also have it digitally on CD Baby now. You can get it on vinyl, and you can also get the CD. So check out the merchandise section of the Planet Helix website for that. And please support the band. What else can I say? Now, most of the new material that we've been releasing over the last couple of years has been on vinyl first, because vinyl has actually surpassed CDs in sales at the record stores. And so in the spring we have another album coming out that's kind of a compilation, kind of rare tracks, and one new track. It's called Eat, Sleep, Rock. Now the songs that Eat, Sleep, Rock are as follows. It can be Eat, Sleep, Rock, Wrecking Ball, Shock City Psycho Rock. Now Wrecking Ball and Shock City Psycho Rock are off of the Half Alive album. They've never been on vinyl. Number 4 is I'm Alive Frankenstein. Originally I did that for my solo album back in the year 2000. Wrote that with Tony Pelesci and Bill Gadd, and it's a staple in the Helix set. Rocks. 5 is Even Jesus from Bastard of the Blues. 6 is Cyberspace Girl from the Power Rock and Roll album. 7 is When the Bitters Got the Better of You. Always loved that song. Sean Kelly wrote most of the lyrics, and they're great lyrics. And I think that was on Vagabond Bones. 8 is a Tequila song, which he only released on a vinyl album with The Devil's Having a Party Tonight, which is actually song number 10. And number 9 is Gene Simmons Says Rock is Dead, which it isn't. Okay, and that's never been on vinyl before. So you know what I mean, it's kind of a mishmash of stuff, but it's going to be a great power-packed album, and hope you pick it up. A little bit of vinyl, new from Helix, coming out in spring. So that's it for this edition of the Helix newsletter. Don't forget, you can always email me personally at bvolm0656@rogers.com. That's bvolm@0656rogers.com. So until then, don't be square. See you around. Whoosh!